Hi, this is Ferre with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Stephen Swenson, and this is the deal of the week for October 29th, 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. We like to highlight different properties and different tax sale deals that are taking place.
Yeah, and fortunately, they are all over the country, so oftentimes we're looking at different states, and this week we found some properties in Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. We've recently went over some California properties, some New York properties, some Washington properties, and like Shade said, we're going to go over Virginia today. As far as Virginia, they are a tax deed state, and near the end of the year, on December 31st, what the counties will go ahead and do is they're going to start the foreclosure process on any property that has been delinquent 2 years. Now, they do have a little bit different laws, like if it's been abandoned, it's been 3 years, or if it's needs to be demolished, it's 1 year. But most of the properties are going to be on that 2 year time frame.
Yeah, and essentially, at the end of those 2 years, the property is going to be offered up at auction, just like any other place. And so, a lot of that is straightforward in terms of just the general system.
Yeah, and the bidding's usually going to start around 10%. That's going to start with the delinquent taxes, penalties, and fees. And so that's usually going to be a couple of years worth penalties, worth fees. So it starts between 5 to 10%. Now, Virginia does have both judicial and non-judicial sales. And really what that means, and at least from what I can tell and what we can tell in looking over it, is most of them are going to be a judicial sale where they go through the judicial process, like a judicial foreclosure. Now, some of the properties, in going through the list, like the junk properties, kind of those type of properties, they'll sell them as non-judicial, which probably says they're saving money by just selling out as a quitclaim deed and not going through that full judicial court process, which is going to cost a lot more money. So for any property of value we've seen, then you do the judicial, but like all of that junk land that most people that we avoid buying, are going to be on those non-judicial sales.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. There's something different about how they do that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and so, at least from what I can tell, and we could look a little bit more because we've never focused on the non-judicial, because we'll only buy property if it's been through that judicial foreclosure.
Yeah, we see that as kind of a safeguard, really.
Yeah, well, and I guess it wouldn't matter because there's probably not a lot of liens on these type of properties because they're side lots or things like that, or even junk land that's not going to have a lot of value, and so they're probably just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, what we mean by that is normally when a property goes through a judicial foreclosure, which is a foreclosure by the county through the courts, it wipes out most of the encumbrances attached to the property, and so in a way the property is more free and clear of liens. When you buy it that way, than if they haven't been through a foreclosure like that.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Virginia, and the area that we're talking about this week is actually Fairfax County, Virginia. And I remember years ago in college, I had a roommate who was from Fairfax County, Virginia, and he used to always tell me that it was, at that time, and it still is, I'm sure, if not even more, the richest county in the country. The most wealth per capita.
Yeah, this is Washington, D.C.
Yeah, exactly. Right outside of D.C. So,
Yeah, this is Washington, D.C., and definitely we know the real estate prices here are among some of the highest in the country.
Yeah. Well, just a little townhouse like this, this is actually townhome, is, valued at over $500,000.
Yeah, which... you don't always see properties, but of course, with everywhere that property taxes are owed, really the numbers are going to be the same. It's just a matter of about 10% of value, but a $500,000 property can still come up for sale, just the same way a $50,000 property can come up for sale.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as the auction details, this is going to be held, it's a special commissioner sale, and it's going to be held at the Fairfax City Regional Library. So we have the address listed there on North Street in Fairfax, and it's going to be happening on the 18th.
Yeah, so it's coming up here relatively soon. And here are some of the property details, or more information here about the property, including historical value and some other county information.
Yeah, so we can see the assessed value on it's at 501. The building's worth 457, land 137. Or I guess up the top 140 and 361. We can see there the mailing address, the owner, and also the property location. One thing that's interesting to look at is the property location and the mailing address are different.
Yeah.
So this isn't an owner-occupied property. This is some type of rental, something like that. And we can see there it's a townhouse. It's got water, sewer. One thing I noticed is gas is not available, but that's probably because they don't use gas within that area.
Right. There's some additional details here about the townhouse itself. Tells us that it was built in 1980. That it is a 2-story. We can see we actually see the size there. Basement recreation room size, 290 square feet. It's kind of interesting. We can basically see any of the details here, including we can see it's got central air.
Yeah, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And so overall, looks like a pretty good property, one that we would be interested in purchasing.
They also give it physical condition grade. They grade it here and they give us an average grade there.
Yeah, so the construction quality grade is good, with an average physical condition.
And here are the GSI overhead images here of the property with the county lines, basically showing us the property dimensions.
Yeah, exactly. This is information that you can be able to pull up through the county record information. We can see exactly which home it is, where it's located. Now, this is actually photos of the townhouse. We were able to go online and look up this property, and this property had been for sale recently, which isn't surprising if it's coming up for the tax sale. They're probably trying to sell it or had tried to sell it, to pay some of those property taxes. But because of that, they have photos of it. So these photos are obviously old. They could be 6 months old, a year old, even longer than that. But it does give us an idea of the condition.
Yeah. Which we do come across that sometimes, when we see properties at tax sales. But it's handy in that it gives us some perspective on what the interior of the property is like, which for tax sale investors is something we don't normally get.
Yeah, well, and all of these properties, all of these interior photos as well, it's pretty clean within there. So even if you want to update it, go in there. In this type of area within Fairfax, there's so many people looking for rentals and for homes. You could really go in there and, add newer, updated, carpets and things like that, and really make it look into a pretty nice property.
Yeah. Now they don't have the actual bid amount posted yet, I think, on this property, but we already know that the assessed value is about $500,000.
Yeah, they're going to be posting it soon. I think they're still calculating, but from what we've seen in the past, it ranges between 5 to 10% usually.
Yeah, so we're thinking.
Yeah, so it usually, probably $5,000, but the properties within the area are valued at anywhere between $5,000 to $650,000.
Yeah, so our guess will be that somewhere in the $30,000 to $50,000 range will be what the opening bid will be when they do release it here. But in terms of what it'll sell for, that kind of depends on who shows up at the sale. But they do have a lot of value there, so there's a lot of potential profit.
Yeah, like we mentioned, this is in one of the richest areas of the country. It is a live in-person sale, so you will have to attend there in person. But if you live, within this area, this could be an auction that could be worth attending.
Well, and too, if you buy it there, even if it's competitive, you might pay 50% or 60% of market value. Maybe it goes up higher than that, but I would doubt it. And there's probably not too many ways in an area like that you can buy property at 50% of market.
Yeah, well, let's say you can get it for even 50% of the market. Like Shade said, I totally agree. That's going to be the cheapest way to buy property there. And you could have $250,000, $300,000 worth of potential profit in that kind of deal.
Yeah. I mean, if you just bought that as your own house.
Yeah,
just buying that as my own house here, and you paid, $250,000 for it, it would be a screaming deal.
Yeah. Now this auction list that we've reviewed the property off this can be found along with hundreds of other auction lists on our website.
Yeah. In fact, we would love to have you join if you'd like. It's only $39 a month to join. It includes everything you see listed here. We have hundreds of different types of auctions and auction lists available, as well as training and support as well.
Yeah, and if you want to pay for a year up front, it's only $29 a month. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, and the reason we do that is because we know that you're not going to find a better value as far as tax sale training. You know, when it comes to both our list and the training service. In fact, we're going to be splitting that training service up here recently where and be raising the price. And so, you know, it's just a great time to get involved, get locked in at that lower price, and you can cancel at any time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching these videos. If you would like these videos, be sure to subscribe and be sure to hit the like button.
Yeah, appreciate it.